Oh, hey, what's up, YouTube? Hey, it's Scotty. This is Scotty Says. Thank you for stopping by. Hey, I was just sipping a little tea. Watching a little TV. I just was watching McVay's last press conference. I guess it was his last press conference. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Whoop, whoop, whoop. Warning! Danger! Danger! I'm telling you, there's trouble in paradise. And I suspect that there will be a new starting quarterback for your Los Angeles Rams come next season. I get ahead of myself. Please, this is a forum where we're going to have discussions about all manner of things. Sports for sure, but science and tech, politics, world history, current events, all manner of subjects to tickle the brain. But these first episodes have been about the Los Angeles Rams and the intrigue at the Palace. They're throwing terms around in the media. I heard terms being used like McVay and Jared Goff need marriage counseling. They say that there's tension. And using the marriage analogy, they've even been throwing the D word around. Divorce. So this is just the season end wrap and future musings about the state of play with the Rams moving forward. Going back just a bit, I thought more about the Aaron Donald situation, and it really is a testament to how much one guy can make a difference. Because if you pull him out of that defense, they're just ordinary. With him at full strength, wreaking havoc, they are extraordinary. They are special. They are all-time great. Pull him out of that equation, and especially put them up against future Hall of Famer like Aaron Rodgers, and you see, nothing special. And I'm wondering just how bad Aaron Donald's injury was. You know, McVay has gone Tricky Dick Nixon in recent weeks. He's become, very secretive and close to the vest, and he so he's become quite the little politician here recently. And he suggested that Aaron Donald, the Terminator, as he called him, was going to be ready to roll. Well, as it turned out, Aaron Donald is a human being, and he was injured. And I think when the truth about that injury is revealed, we'll see it wasn't just a cartilage issue. It was probably broken ribs. You could see when it happened, AD 99 was having trouble breathing, laboring to breathe. Drew Brees broke 11 ribs, I believe, falling down when the guy fell on him a few weeks back. So, how bad was that injury to AD 99? I guess we'll find out when we get Freedom of Information Act out of Sean McVay somewhere down the road. But again, I want to point out Jared Goff played decent. He was not bad. He did not turn the ball over. That was the main thing. But once you extracted AD 99 from that equation up against Aaron Rodgers, it just, it wasn't meant to be. So, and another musing is, you see now, the McVay tree. I use these a lot, huh? The McVay tree. And McVay has only been coach of the Rams 4 years. And in just that short amount of time, he has a tree already. Just Saturday, he was playing against one of his contemporaries, proteges, a man who was his former offensive coordinator, Matt LaFleur, who now has gone 13-3 back-to-back years in his first 2 seasons as head coach. It helps when you got a franchise quarterback. And as soon as the Rams were eliminated, San Diego, chop, got right to work and plucked away the Rams defensive coordinator, Brandon Staley, who is now the new I said San Diego, didn't I? Oh, boy, those habits die hard. The Los Angeles Chargers have hired the former defensive coordinator and all-around hot prospect for head coach. They have hired him away from the Rams. So he basically is just going to move to a different part of the same building. But again, you see the McVay tree. Now, maybe all these guys would have found their way to be head coaches on their own, but being in the McVay system, they very quickly are elevated elsewhere. Brandon Staley is attempting to pull Kevin O'Connell, the Rams offensive coordinator, away from McVay. Pull him over to be the offensive coordinator with San Diego, with the Los Angeles Chargers. Now, that's interesting. What appeal would there be to lateral over from the Rams to the Chargers as offensive coordinator? Well, McVay really is the offensive coordinator for the Rams. So Kevin O'Connell might actually have an opportunity to really be a play-calling offensive coordinator with the Los Angeles Chargers, an opportunity that he doesn't really have with the Rams. Another guy off the McVay tree. And what does Brandon Staley have as the new head coach of the LA Chargers? He's got a franchise quarterback. And so McVay can see the landscape. He sees that LaFleur has Aaron Rodgers. He sees that Brandon Staley has Herbert. And these other NFC West rivals, these other teams, they've got quarterbacks. Look at Arizona now, little Kyler. I mean, this guy, I don't know how he can hold up over a 16-game season, because it looked like he got beat down a little bit as the season wore on. He's a smallish fellow. Take a lot of pounding. He runs a lot, so there's that. But this guy, he's a baller. And so you see up in Seattle, Russell Wilson and the stew. Sometimes he cooks up something, sometimes it's putrid stew. But that's a franchise quarterback. And so McVay looks around the landscape and he sees he's really the only one who doesn't have a franchise quarterback. And that other coach off the McVay tree that I'm having trouble remembering his name, he's the head coach for Cincinnati now. It's been a year or two for him now. He hasn't been that successful, but Cincinnati. So what happened? What happened? Well, it starts with that erratic, inefficient play at quarterback. Lack of creativity from 16 Goff. Lack of mobility. I disaffectionately call him the mummy in the pocket. Because he's just like, he's a standing target. If the play breaks down, he can't create off schedule. And he has arm talent, as the phraseology goes these days, but he's so erratic that you just don't know what you're going to get from game to game, even from quarter to quarter. So with a team that's ready-made to run deep in the playoffs, you got to have somebody pulling the trigger at quarterback who can handle their business. And McVay sees the landscape. He sees all these franchise quarterbacks out there. He sees Mahomey out there. Oh, I bet he looks and he sees, Josh Allen in Buffalo and Lamar in Baltimore. He sees all these quarterbacks, and then he looks over at his own, and it's the Goff. And they use the marriage analogy, and I actually think it's a relevant analogy because I think that McVay been married now to Goff for 4 years. The situation is a little tired, a little stale, a little plain. No excitement in that marriage. And McVay, he's a young guy. He's got aspiration. He wants things. He looks around and he sees all these flashy QBs. Look at my homie. Look at him go. And he's shackled the ball and chain with the Goff. And his eyes wander. And he sees these guys coming out of the draft, but he can't get them because the Rams have used all their draft picks up. And he just watches them go to different, teams. And he's thinking, man, the itch is starting to become unbearable. He's got to scratch it. And then fate intervenes. An old 16 the golfer cracks that thumb on the helmet in Seattle. And there's this guy, the backup that McVay is often looked at with affection. But now, because things have deteriorated, because they've continually gone down this path of worsening feelings, he looks over there and he sees this Wolford character, and he thinks, Wolford ain't that bad. I might be able to work with that. He's young and eager and he wants to please. And he's got perfect cover because the golfer's got a broken thumb. It required surgery. He's got pins in there. Nobody can second guess him. He's been given cover by the football gods. And he looks at the Wolf and he glances skyward at the football gods and he says, I believe. McVay says, thank you. Yeah, thank you. And he makes a decision. I'm going to run with the Wolf Pack. And he pours all this hope and optimism into the Wolf, and the Wolf shows promise. The Wolf looks good, and he begins to believe. This is what I've been missing. This is what I've been waiting for. This is what I need. And then the golfer taps him on the shoulder and says, hey, coach, thumb's okay. I can start in Seattle. Yay. And the coach says, huh? Well, what? No, it's all messed up. No, coach. No. I've been doing all sorts of little thumb exercises and everything. and I've been gripping the ball, and only maybe 1 out of every 5 or 6 passes come out bad. That's enough to do. I mean, because I'm a team guy. I'm doing this for the team, and the only other alternative is to go with our backup unproven Wolford, and I can't let my team down, and I'm the starter, and I'm the quarterback of the LA Rams, and I can do it, coach. Let's make it happen. And Sean McVay said, you know what? No. And Jared Goff said, huh? He said, no. You just had surgery. And he said, Coach, I told you it's not the surgery. He said, okay, well, even if the thumb were okay, which I don't believe it is, but even if it were, I think I want to see what the Wolf will do. And that's when Jared Goff probably lost it. The reports are they've had many long, heartfelt, in-depth, deep conversations since Jared Goff broke his thumb. And I can imagine that some of those conversations probably got pretty intense. And when Jared Goff finally really understood that Sean McVay had made a decision no matter how well the thumb had responded, he wanted to start Wolford. He didn't want Jared Goff to rush back valiantly and be ready. He wanted him to stay on the sideline. And when that sunk in, I bet Jared Goff probably lost it and told him what he really thought. He probably let him have it. Because Jared Goff in the press conference said, hey, we're 2 grown men and we might disagree. And I'll bet you, I can imagine he probably said, now look here, little man. I don't think you've thrown not a single pass in the NFL. Who are you to tell me? Well, he is the head coach, Jared. Who are you to tell me that I can't perform in a playoff game? Well, the problem was you've been performing quite poorly all the way up to the playoff game. These are mutually exclusive points of view. One, I'm the quarterback of the Rams and I'm going to lead my guys to battle. And 2, my primary objective is to win. I don't think Jared Goff is capable of saying, you know what, Wolford probably gives us a better opportunity to win, actually. Hey, how could he say that? How could he think it? He has to be myopic when it comes to his, that's about being confident and believing in yourself. But Sean McVay has to be able to see the big picture and be objective and read the real landscape. And I, like McVay, believe Wolford would have given the Rams a better chance to win in Green Bay and would have lit up Seattle had he been able to stay in the game. And that's the irony of it all, is that McVay put Wolford at risk by running him on a little bogus keeper. And it all went up in smoke. And then he had to turn around and say, okay, Jared, come on, you said the thumb's okay. Come on, buddy, get back in there. All right, remember, did you see when he gave him the high five after Goff threw that touchdown? And Goff gave him that left hand high five and he had that look in his eye like, feelings all bent out of shape on both sides, I bet. And at the end of the day, McVay is going to make the final determination, not Jared Goff. So, intrigue in the palace. What happens next? Well, You know, the fairy tale, the happily ever after. There's this guy in Houston that wants out, and he would make the Rams a dynasty for the next decade. That's Deshaun Watson.
But the Rams don't have any draft picks. But they don't have any picks.
I know what you're thinking. But where there's a will, there's a way. Kroenke, he's happy to spend money. Les Snead has shown that he's a wheeler dealer. He's been reckless in his wheeling and dealing. In fact, it's some of his wheeling and dealing is the reason we're in the boat we're in, because you know they throw draft picks at people like it's candy. Brandon Cooks, let me throw some draft picks at you. Hey, you know who sounds good? Marcus Peters and Akeem Talib. Let me throw draft picks. These people come and stay for a year, 2 at the most. Those picks are gone, man. Hey, Jalen Ramsey. Woo, plenty of picks to throw for you. Ty Gurley and Jared Goff. Let's back the Brink trucks up and give you everything we got. We love you. Oh, you're not able to perform up to standard at this point moving forward at all, even close? Okay. So sometimes wheeling and dealing can get you in a whole lot of trouble. Sometimes it's better to be a little more reserved, less. But in this case, I think some wheeling and dealing is called for. How could they do it? Package up something. Some late round draft picks they got, and then, look, you say, hey, man, we take Deshaun from you. I know Jared Goff isn't your dream trade partner, but you take Jared Goff. We're going to throw in Cooper Kupp with him, see, because they go together like rice and gravy. They're a pair. We throw them in. Jared Goff's got to have his security blanket in Houston. So we're going to throw in Cooper Kupp with Jared Goff. We're also going to throw in our second string running back. His name Johnson. Let's throw him in. And we're going to look at the other side of the ball, too. We're going to throw in a second or third string corner or safety. Give you some love. With all those draft picks, we got to have Deshaun. So we'll see how it all plays out. Time will tell. But I do believe we've seen the last of Jared Goff in Los Angeles. So time will tell. Scotty says like, subscribe, and please leave me a comment. Let me know. Do you think I'm close? You think I'm way off? One love. Happy birthday, Doc.